Buen dia, little buddy. What are you doing? You trying to cross? Trying to get across the street? Alright. Here we come with a climb. Usually try to get here by 22 minutes, plus or minus. I always start walking right there. So, doing okay. A little under 21 minutes, 2 miles plus, heading up this long grade. And I'll hang a right, can make my way over to those mountains. Well, good morning, everybody. Just took 30 seconds to gather my breath. I'm out here Saturday morning. It's probably, I don't know, about 6:30 or so. Took off a little after 6 a.m. Best time of the day. It's actually already getting hot. Can definitely feel the humidity. But it's been a few months since I put a video up. Life's just been busy and crazy and all that kind of stuff. We're obviously not big YouTubers. We're more by just putting together fun information and kind of sharing the journey a little bit. So hats off to all you guys and gals and families that are pumping out these videos once a week, twice a week, once a month. But we've had a real busy time these last couple months since I think February when I last put up a video. And just, a lot of work around the farm, preparing the land. We just finally got the hay cut this past week, which we'd really been waiting on for almost a month. We kept getting intermittent rains and it had to dry out, and the hay got so tall it was falling over. But we finally got it done, so we're excited about that. It's gonna get flipped today, dry for another 2, and then we'll get it put in bales. So I'll show you what that video looks like here later on. But yeah, other than that, been on a few trips. Went home to see friends and family in Copenhagen with our youngest and my mother-in-law. Julia, unfortunately, was kind of bedridden with a real nasty sinus infection, cough. And then our oldest has been down in the Algarve working at a hotel restaurant as a kind of a summer internship, so to speak. So we don't get her back until mid-July. Missing her a bunch. But in addition to that, our youngest has been playing competitive volleyball, so 3 nights a week we're heading to the closest city to us, about 45 minutes away. But she's doing really well. Her first year, she's playing with some really competitive girls. She really seems to enjoy it. And in addition to that, she decided that she really wanted to transfer there, so she'll be moving schools in the fall, as will the oldest daughter. She's 2 years into a 3-year professional restaurant bar program, also acquiring her GED. So she's decided she wanted to seek out just a different experience. And there's a very professional school about 40, 50 minutes from here. But she's been driving. She got her license, so she's pretty much on her own now, which is awesome. And scary at the same time. But yeah, so that's kind of the goings on. But in this video here, I really wanted just to showcase what we've been doing to finish up the pantry. Totally forgot, we got a puppy, little baby Nola, little nosy bear, a authentic Serra da Estrela Portuguese dog that is bred to stay with the flock and the herd and protect chickens and sheep and whatnot. So she's been an adorable little ball of fluff that we've added to the family clan, keeping the other dogs nice and young and fresh. So I think you'll see her in the video too. But yeah, so enjoy. Again, it's been a few months since we put up a video, but I think this next one here will be fun to watch. Just a progression of all the tile work and building of the pantry shelves so we can get that space completed. And then I think the next move will be the kitchen island build. That will probably take me a few months. building all the carcasses and designing everything. Okay, I can start running again. So hopefully that'll be showcased here sometime this summer. All right, enjoy. I gotta start running. This video, we're going to go through and just kind of showcase a little bit of the progress we've been making on the pantry, which is in this back left corner of the kitchen. So just trying to make it more functional for really our purposes and our family. A good friend of ours helped me pour some concrete leveling just to get this space a little bit more even from what it was. You know, for many, many years, it was actually on top of wood planks. So had a lot of unevenness and sagginess. And so that was kind of step one in getting these tiles laid down. At least one row of these tile, and then what I'll have to do is cut out a border, very customized, but that'll be tucked underneath some baseboards as well, so that's totally fine. So yeah, I think I'll do that right now since I got a little bit of that mortar glue left over. Obviously, I'm gonna have to cut around these posts, but yeah, let's lay some of these guys down. Today's task is to get all the grap done. That way I can start actually working on building a little bit more of this bracketing for the support of the shelving here in the pantry space. So I already got the ripper up here. Gonna add a shelf here, probably do a third and maybe a fourth layer of just very narrow shelving, mainly just for the jars. A little extra storage for all the canning that Julie and her mom do, but yeah, definitely want to get this gratting done and then start installing maybe even some baseboards here in the next week or two. All right, today we're gonna go ahead and transform the front part of these shelves, get some nice pine 90-degree angled trim on there to kind of close off the look of these plywood shelves. Well, trim turned out pretty good. Just sanded a couple brad nails, about 3 on each one with wood glue, and then put a little bit of wood filler, which I'll sand off tomorrow. But yeah, now we got a good trim because I need 2 more pieces here. Ran short, didn't buy enough, so. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 got done today, so turned out pretty nice. Looks good. Okay, just to give a quick little idea, just finished installing most of these shelves. Got some brackets put in all the corners, and a stationary or a stanchion bracket in the middle. That should hold any sort of weight from the shelves moving forward. And then I just built a little half shelf right here. That way we could put jars in and smaller items on top, mustard jars, that kind of stuff, jam, jelly, you name it. Just give a little bit more use of the space, but yeah, it's coming along. Just got done sanding all the shelves. Wiped everything down with a wet rag, so I'm gonna let this dry for a couple hours, heading out to lunch, and then we'll come back in and get it all stained up. Today's the day. We're getting all this hay cut. Took a little bit down yesterday for the horses because they were getting low on bale, so we've got that pasture and then this narrow little strip right here. So the tractor guy should be here momentarily. In the spirit of preservation, Julie wanted me to build and frame out a kind of a screened-in window out in one of the outbuildings for when we get sheep. And so I'm kind of looking around, looking for wood, scraps I can pick out, and we bought some screen, and then I came across this. So this is actually the old window that used to be hanging over it, and I'll show you the opening here in a minute. But, you know, had the frame attached here, that way they can open and close, I guess, the actual window itself. But the frame of the original is actually in good shape. Gosh, this thing must be 40, 50 years old. And surprisingly, the screen is completely intact, which is really, really awesome. Let's walk on back to that part of the barn. Got our lawnmowers going out of here, actively working. So here's where we got the tractor parked, and right back in this corner is where we're gonna put our sheep, which we think they had pigs, or not really sure what this part of the barn was utilized for, but got all these little stalls here. They're all caged off, and we think they had this little hole here where they had heat lamps suspended, and that's where the little baby pigs could go and hang out. But anyway, this is where we're gonna keep the sheep in one of these little bays, and that's the window we need to cover up just to keep flies out of here. These windows actually up here already have screens on them. One of them needs repair, easy to do. We got the mesh. That one looks okay. Could probably rebuild that one and make it look a little prettier, but this one here, we just gotta get all those vines cleaned up, so that'll be task number one. You guys might have seen that, but the very first thing I did right when I stepped into this bay was lodge this guy right up into my shoe, hit my foot. Not sure if it broke skin, but you know what they say about old rusty metal on a farm. Yeah, I'm not too worried about tetanus, but yeah, probably the reason why you always want to make sure you're wearing boots and not tennis shoes. This will do the trick. The window project got put on hold just because I didn't have enough extension cord out there, and we don't have any electricity to the barn yet. So I'm going to find some leftover pieces of some pine that I'd ripped down to, what is that height? Never have a tape measure when you need it. Let's see, here's an old tape measure. Nope, 4. So 4-inch tall. I'm going to use that as baseboarding up for the pantry space. So just did a couple different router samples, and I think this one here is the one we're going to go with. Just a nice clean line, sand it down, get it painted, and then hopefully get that installed here in the next day or two. the long left side of the pantry space, I need to join these two pieces for the baseboard. Unfortunately, I don't have a piece long enough, so I need to get these guys situated nicely. So I'll probably end up gluing them, do maybe some sort of the wood filler or caulking. See if we can make it look as one piece. A couple different techniques I've seen on YouTube, University of YouTube. So I will try that and see how it comes out. Okay, so we got it glued together, got it sanded down. The routing seems pretty on point. So yeah, let me do a little bit of I guess filler and see how that shows up. As I'm working on finishing up the baseboards here, I just got these two here painted. So they're just kind of drying up right now. I need to do a little bit more patchwork in this back corner of the pantry. We had the balloon, I guess they call it, for our filtration system. Was just kind of sitting here in the ground, and then I had the three chambers mounted down here, but what I wanted was bring everything up off the ground. That way, you know, get a little bit more storage or whatnot down here. So, but realized I never patched up this little section of drywall, so just cut a little piece. We'll get that installed real fast. That way I can finish up the tiling in this back corner here behind the fridge. And then, of course, get this baseboard corner here installed. Easy enough. Got the patch in place. So next up, built this little shelf here. Just gonna put the legs underneath on the bottom, just to bracket it up and give it a little bit of support from underneath. That way I can put that balloon bulb sitting right there. It's actually kind of heavy. And I'll place that on top of this little shelf here, and should be enough sturdiness. Probably end up switching out that plug. That's kind of a temporary electrical outlet for the fridge. Put one on there that's got some plastic covering protection, since we do have water hanging out right above, just in case there's ever a leak. So a little fire hazard mitigation. And then all this botch work here that was left by the contractors when they laid the electrical lines into the granite, I'm going to eventually tile over all of this. So all this rough, you know, concrete and whatnot is going to be completely covered in tile, and build a new window frame or casing for this pantry window here as well. So a little bit of work left to do, but we're getting there. Getting these little weight brackets here mounted underneath, it's 1,000 times easier with this glue and accelerator stuff. Really works out well. So give that just a minute to set, put in a couple brad nails, and that should be a nice strong bond. All right, got the extension cable that I needed from the barn, or the electrical area of the underside of the house way out here to the outbuilding. It's probably about 200 plus feet maybe. So we don't have electrical set up yet, but needed to get an electrical cable to get this thing going. So let's get this thing drilled up. That way I can install this window, cover up that little hole up there, screened in just for flies and whatnot. Got that installed. That didn't take too long, about 10 minutes. You may notice I dropped one of the plastic anchors, putting it up next to the granite drill bit, diamond plated drill bit, after running the drill for a minute or two to see how much depth I needed, and touched my fingers right onto the drill bit, which was boiling hot. So lesson learned, don't touch hot drill bits. But yep, that's good to go. Back to the pantry. Here's where we're at with the space. Shelves are all good to go. I have been working on painting and routering out and sanding the baseboard for down here. And then what we'll do is we'll get these guys tiled up from the baseboards up. We'll do this section here. And then once I get the baseboard added in, I've also been working on this shelf back here, just getting our filtration system hung up a little bit higher. We're gonna mount a shelf right here. That way, that bulb right there that I talked about before is gonna be off the floor. Hopefully we can get a little storage cart or something down here, but just finished cutting these 3 little pieces of tile. That way I can finish the flooring here, and then we'll get a nice baseboard trim installed. This whole wall here is gonna get tiled probably up to maybe outlets, maybe a little bit higher, I'm not really sure. And of course I got to build out a whole new casing for the window here that was left very, very rough by the contractors when they came in and ripped out the old wooden ones. And then we of course had these new aluminum high-end dual pane with argon gas windows installed. So yeah, a little bit more work to do here, but getting very, very close to where this space is fully functional. We've already got this whole side here working. So we just got to get this side included as well. My wonderful mother-in-law went ahead and cleaned a couple of these tiles for me. Looks like we got probably like 20 or 30. So I'm gonna go ahead and start laying at least maybe 1 or 2 rows just to kind of see how the pattern comes out. But it looks like we're gonna need, maybe for the length of the wall, about 12 plus or minus, and then I'm gonna have to cut the last row, but that'll be tucked in behind the doors. So visually, nothing you'll be able to see, but yeah, I think we got about 260 of these a couple weeks ago at a warehouse store that they charge like 35 cents per. Very, very authentic, very Portuguese. So I'm gonna go ahead and start hauling these guys up. Was able to get a couple, well, almost 2 rows laid down. Unfortunately, I've got to get onto a consultation meeting call right now, so I have to come back and finish this hopefully tomorrow. We've been waiting pretty much the majority of May, trying to get our hay cut and baled, you know, one thing after another, whether it was rains that came in intermittently, and then we didn't have enough days to let it dry, and then a little bit of dew came in, but finally our local guy came out with a tractor from a friend of ours' recommendation and got this cut down. Now it'll just dry for a couple days, flip it, and then a couple more days of drying before we'll get it baled up hopefully in the next 4 or 5 days. Not sure how well you can see it, but all the tile has dried. We decided to go no grout, so I set pretty much the tiles as close as I could to each other. But you know, they're not 100% square, so there's a couple little deviations here. The wall was a little bit crooked as well, so some of them popped out a little more than I was hoping for, but all in all, it looks really, really nice. But what we're doing now, or what I'm doing here today, is we're just gonna go ahead and lay a little bit of bead of white caulking all the way through. And I've already done a little section over here, so, you know, like for instance here you can see, even though these guys are almost butted up against each other, there's still little areas of imperfection. Same was over here, but now with the silicone, that pretty much gets completely hidden, so it just makes the lines look a lot cleaner. So go ahead and do this wall here, and then I'll probably, if I have time, I'll go ahead and tile this next shelf up here today. All right, silicone is all complete. Definitely gives it a much, much cleaner look. What are you, Union? Are you Union?
Yes.
What's going on in here?
And this year we have 2 sheep.
You proud of your stack? It's a nice stack. We can go a little higher. Hi. Come here, girls.
Hi, Mamma Mia. Good morning. What do you have there? They're very cute. They're tiny. Yeah.
Hey, little peeper. You're stuck in a fly trap. You want her? No. We're gonna try to save you. Here's evidence that it pays to listen when your wife speaks. So we got this water line. We've been digging this trench. It's going all the way back there to the barn. We made it 98% of the way. We got about another 12 feet to go. But we also wanted to bring a sprinkler out to here where Julie and her mom just planted a bunch of potatoes yesterday. So I don't know why in my brain I thought, hey, split it, put a T, post, spigot, hose out there. Seemed logical, but I remember that we actually wanted to put the spigot onto the granite wall because that's a lot more sturdy and stable. So all I had to do was just split it here, bring it up. Damn it. There's 40 minutes of my life I'll never get back again. So I'm just gonna go ahead and split this line out with a T bracket, whatever you call those things. We do have a little rock shelf, which is a footing for this granite wall. So I just need to bring it up maybe 12, 14 inches and then put an elbow in, bring it over against the wall, another elbow, and then we can put a spigot right there. That way we split this water line. So get going on that now. Well, crisis averted, divorce papers postponed. Got the bracket here, or extension I guess, fitted, spigot installed, good to go. So let's make sure we make this very clear. After I spent 30, 40 minutes digging that trench for absolutely no reason, knowing the spigot needed to be there. All you young boys out there, naive men, it actually does pay to listen to your wife. Not always, and this of course most of the time was exactly where my wife had said she wanted it to begin with. So, you know, that's where I had to put it because she already told me that. Was that right, honey? Did I get it all? Okay, good. Portuguese traffic. Shake a leg, ladies. Julie and her mom and our youngest daughter left this morning by train to go to Aveiro. They're heading down to the Algarve to pick up her oldest daughter, who's been working at a hotel down there. So my task for the next couple days is hopefully to get this trench. I just poured a whole bunch of sand here, as you can see. We got electrical and water lines, so sand, just a warning, anybody digging, once they hit that, there's electrical coming down. So yep, goal is to finish filling in this trench with dirt. That way there's no issues for the horses coming through the pasture gate here, going out to the other side of the house to graze. Right now, obviously, that's a death trap for their legs. So, yep, I want to get this filled in and it's getting hot, so I don't know if I'll get to the back part here, but we have this line all the way up to where the main water line comes in and where the electrical box is at. So that is the goal for the day. Well, believe it or not, that was only about 35 minutes of definitely back-breaking shoveling, but I almost can't even tell that there used to be a trench here, so it is definitely getting hot though. I think I'm gonna go work on another project. Let this kind of settle. We're supposed to get a little bit of rain in the next day or two, so maybe tomorrow morning when it cools down, I'll tackle that one, but that's right out in the sun, so I'm not going there today. You keeping watch for me? Good girl. Okay, super exciting. Just got the hole up here drilled. Actually put in two. You'll see one there and one right next to it. The bigger hole is gonna be for this water piping to go through. That way we can get water pulled back to the sheep, make it a lot easier to give them fresh water every day. And then the one next to it is going to be electrical conduit. There's old electrical here. You can see the headlights set up. All of it's been pulled and cut at the main house. So where I have the water coming, these trenches that Julie and I were digging, I got the water attached here. Going to bring it up over the rafters and then through that portal down to the sheep. So that's, I won't get it finished today, but I want to get this piping at least laid in line. That way we can easily just add a spigot next to where we have all the sheep, just to make it easier for water, clean water switch out on a daily basis. So, but yeah, then once the electrician comes in, hopefully, who knows, next 2 weeks, next 3 months, it's impossible to tell. At least the holes will be ready for them to draw the electrical conduit. I can get most of it set up. That way they just have to snake it from a junction box over here. So, yep, that is the task for the day. Here's a good little visual. So we got the lines set into these little anchors just to, keep a little bit of strength. I left a bracket just in case we ever want to take it across. So we have that capability, but solid mount, no drips. First try. Water in the barn.